Hello, so today we're going to talk about the brainstem respiratory centers that are broken into three different categories of all the unconscious or involuntary breathing our system does. To start, I'd like to go over some anatomy of the brain. As you see here in the rectangle, there is the brainstem. And in the middle is the pons, and just below the pons is the medulla oblongata. So now back to the three pairs of the respiratory centers. We will start with the ventral respiratory group, which is also referred to as the VRG. This is the inspiration and the expiratory breathing, or inspiratory and expiratory breathing. Inspiratory is the inhaling, and the expiratory is the exhale. Expiratory oftentimes is about 3 seconds when it's relaxed. And the total cycle of the inspiratory and the expiratory is about 12 breaths per minute. So inspiratory is excited by neurons, and expiratory is also excited by neurons. This happens in the medulla oblongata, as we looked at earlier. So the VRG, you can see from this diagram, is just in the medulla oblongata there, in the middle, the medulla oblongata, and then the VRG. Okay, our next category we'll talk about is the dorsal respiration group, otherwise known as the DRG. This is also found in the medulla. It extends the length between the VRG and the central canal of the brainstem. So the VRG, so the DRG is just above the ventral respiratory group. So the DRG is a web of neurons, and they integrate the center to receive the input from several sources: the chemoreceptors, certain major arteries, and stretch and irritant receptors in airways. The next one we'll talk about is the pontine respiratory group, otherwise known as the pneumotaxic, which is the PRG. This receives input from higher brain centers, such as the hypothalamus, limbic system, and the cerebral cortex. This issues output to the DRG and the VRG, delays transition from inspiration and expiration. This happens on each side of the pons. So our PRG is up here in the pons. PRG. So it's pretty easy if you just think of the brainstem respiratory centers as being controlled by three of these categories: the VRG, DRG, and PRG. The medulla oblongata has the VRG and the DRG, and then the PRG is in the pons. So that's pretty easy to remember: PRG and pons. And then the VRG and DRG are in the medulla oblongata.